short break. So I'm having an easy day as well. So I thought I would just come in and, you know, spread some of the good energy, in here. So yeah, it is fairly a good day though. So I'm excited about it, welcoming in these new beginnings and preparing for this new journey. This new journey, I think, entails the writing creativity, which I know that this is 2026 endeavors. Right now, everything is like moving into place in the innermost areas. So yeah, it's going to come together. But I've also discovered a way to because I needed a medium. I had the distribution for the book. I just needed the medium to share the book. So that's what I'm working on today. So I'm excited about that. The other aspect is, oh yes, I discovered, or I have a way where, or I have a phone number for clients internationally and a separate number for the US. So that also, of course, through the medium for sharing. But so YouTube will allow the Intrium. So I've got that in place, I think. Oh, and I have to, in order for this to work seamless, I have to start a what they call it, a list. So yeah, that's the other catch. There's this email list factor. I'm not trying to figure out a way around that, but I think it's going to come together. I'm very hopeful. So in that regard, yeah, it's just something that has been weighing on my mind for a few days, and you know with all this other things that's going on in the world, oh gosh, which I'm sharing that as quickly as I can. So like, I know that um people are right now, um, people are calling in, they're on their way, they have interviews lined up. So, and of course, they started early, so we were checking for interviews they've already done, interviews that they have aligned for this week. Of course, this does go into the next week. I'm pretty sure that represents, maybe callbacks, and second interviews and etc. Um, but but the good news is that the universe is like, gosh, just everything just happens for a reason, and the right timing. The timing, that's where I focus my energy. So time wise says, yeah, this group is falling away, but also equally another group is coming in. So we're pulling in the new group. Hence, I'm all fingers crossed. See, fingers crossed. That represents the interviews for the new associates or partners or employers. October, I think it's October 30th. Yeah, October 30th. This one, so yeah, okay, clearly a very busy this week. But then it slows down after, like, Thursday comes, that's tomorrow. It'll slow down a bit, then pick back up Monday, by the way. And then we'll move to the 30th, and then it switches over to partnerships. So I'm keeping an eye on those things. But on a more psychic note, I know that's psychic as well, but on another note, I um, have oracle readings because I get I'm taught different ways that I'm going to be reading. So 2026 readings and conversations different from this year's. This year's about partnerships, relationships. Next year about marriages, long-term relationships, long-term projects or business proposals having or who are holding up, and of course other projects plural from from out of those relationships. So we're kind of guiding people, kind of like preparing them for this incoming I, successful opportunities or opportunities that lead to the materialization success. This is where we want people to bring into fruition, although in the midst of all this, what this, it's like a wild card right now. But, it's coming together, trust and believe. As I say, it's coming together for people who I interact with. It's coming together for myself. So I definitely want things to come together. I'm on the line as well as everybody else, with everybody else, excuse me. With everybody else, I'm on the line too. So I am saying, this is what's going on for now. And of course, I'm what they call other people's track records. Mine, I guess I'm having these in what they call it, in action revelations. Like I've discovered a good medium for sharing the upcoming books, and of course, the ability to provide the consultation that that offers the privacy element. So yeah, so people will be able to find, locate, choose undetected, and also, of course, it'll be sound and what they call it, um, very straightforward, I guess. And I wasn't even thinking about this. So I ended up needing international number, and I also needed a new local number. And what was on my brain wasn't, oh yes, now people can reach out and they can just contact me, and we can have this, like through phone, and that solves a whole problem of like, okay, how am I going to safely deliver these consultations? And then just this night, it said, "Oh, that's how." Whenever through the mediums membership, particularly, all that will be listed. So that's how people will obtain those numbers. If they're not part of in that space, they won't act. They won't know the number. Well, there wouldn't be a reason for them to even want the number, I think. So, but yes, yeah, it's gonna be interesting how this all plays out in my brain. It's so if it's so let's see, it's just till just rewind and watch from the beginning, or just try to catch in, try to find your place in it, and and then participate. So okay, so those consultation, the way that you're gonna have the ability to reach out through a actual phone number, that is only shared in memberships. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so that's only shared through memberships, and which is a long time from now. I'm cultivating an email list. So an email list allows me to send the when my book comes out, they'll have information about that, or also where they can actually get in touch for to be placed on a list for consultation. So that's how it's going to work. But I'm still trying to work out that logistics so that it flows easily. So it's more like clearly, I'm joining the email list and it's digital. Here it is. So that I'm still sorting that out. So it's not it's not smooth as it's going to be. It's going to get smoother. But yeah, I think that this will probably change and become more simpler and more like associated with YouTube as the channel is ready to accept memberships. So that part might take some time. Yeah, I'm still thinking ahead just in case. Like, yeah. I'm thinking like this could happen tomorrow. No way it's going to happen tomorrow or by the end of the month. But it's nice that I'm thinking about it. And of course, I'm sharing these things with you so that you are aware and that you will know like, okay, so what is this channel about? What's going on here? What's going on with you? So I am becoming more centered. This week was a really great week for me, by the way. I've just been really working, doing my consultation bit. Oh my gosh. Um, I read the entire Apocrypha. Oh my gosh. If you don't know what the Apocrypha is, it's additional books to the Bible. So yeah, I read the whole thing and I liked it. So there's other books, holy books that I'm reading. I've read the Bhagavad Gita. That's Hindu. Uh, uh, their scriptures. So I'm cultivating right now, and yeah, of course, uh, I am going to write on these subjects, so I'm in depth studying them. There are a group. One of my videos has reached six figures, so yeah, the 100,000 mark, and then it stopped. So I guess as much as maybe that's as far as it goes. But I'm like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? And no other video even breaking 1,000, but this one, and guess what the subject is? So in my youth, I adored the ruins. So this subject wasn't even, it's not even about the cult, there's 25 ruins, right? So this subject is about one symbol and that symbol derivative from ruins. So I'm only talking about discussing one symbol. And that's the subject that people like. So, and my brain is like, don't think they like the ruins. They just like what this symbol represents, in more of a modern times subject. Yeah. So I am trying not to overthink it, but I can tell that something is different with my channel. People are like peeking in and things, over there. Of course, I'm talking about. I'm referring to TikTok. And then here, I get occasional, people trying to understand what this channel is about. This channel is about all things mystery. It's not religious or too religious, and it's not too occultish, where it's among the bizarre. I do talk about the horrific, whatever side you're on, according to, like, right now, there are some pretty heavy things that the US is going through. And of course, other countries connected to the US are also going through things. Of course, you know this. If you have, people from, who you speak with, from other countries who are your friends. So that's how I know what's going on in the world. Of course, well, yes, we get into these types of conversations I'm pointing to that are like in the political, correctness and ideologies. We actually are beginning to tap into those subjects in the realm and space of during consultations, believe it or not. And um, yeah, we've tapped into a few of those conversations. I know people are like, "Why are you going to talk about relationships and soul tribes when we have, we're in the like America's in the middle of a government shutdown? Like, well, what do you see for that? Like, you see any hope? Any light for that? I totally get it. So I know people are like, what is what is going on? What's up with you? Like, are you aware? Like, there's some dark stuff going on here, and you're talking about light and love and beings and constellations and you're speaking esoteric. Speak English, like be down to earth. Like get real. I get it. I get it. I get it. Which we do. We are having those conversations. The situation is that yes, people when they speak in this area on those subjects, they speak at that point. By the time they at least arrive to the conversation, there's something they want to do about it. They're like, what can I do about it? What do you want to do about this? How do we want to correct it? Well, how do we fix this? How do I keep myself sane? How do I protect myself? And how do I leave some information for the next person to find who may experience some things that I've experienced? Maybe they can avoid what I've experienced if it's bad, the bad parts. So yeah, yeah, this is becoming very interesting. Of course, I love to lend tools that help people to you know, be a what do you call it? A strong individual in what the parts of society that they're wherever they are in the world. If they are on another continent, or they're just trying to just be on like the block that they exist on, even if it's that, you know, to give them offer, share there with them tools that help them, help themselves, help family members, help others even. So we're really like tapping into these tougher subjects. So these are the subjects that are a bit more, a little bit more tough, and also maybe even a little bit more challenging, to um, adapt to. But it's these are real conversations, and of course I know that some people, depends on where people's minds are, um, and that's why I never bring up these subjects on my own. Like people might say, here are you here I mean here you are sitting down and you're shuffling tarot. True. But they say, well, but you're in the middle of a crisis right now, political and people crisis at that. Is there anything better that you could be doing with your time, right? Well, I don't bring up these subjects unless other people bring up the subjects, and they have to bring up a specific area of the subject, and then I will give my opinion. Of course, my opinion will be from a professional, spiritual, and psychic opinion at that. So yeah, I know that I'm not the one that just because when I've done that, you know what it's gonna sound like. It's gonna sound like I'm making psychic predictions, which which you know what they call it, spoiler alert. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I've learned to more like channel my psychic predictions on Twitter or something. I like here, like I look, yeah, follow that, and then I just leave it in the air. Oh hi, what's your name? Your name is Train. Trains are back. Well, hi, trains are back. Hi to you. Yeah, I just wanted to pop in because right now I'm having a pretty easy day. It's easy going, and I'm on a kind of like a. It's like it feels like a break. And I've not accepted uh, any clients today. I'll pick up tomorrow. So yeah, so this is my time where I'm just coming in and I'm like relaxing. I'm like, hello to you. Had some tea and uh, play with the cards a bit. Share what I've a little talk about a little bit what I've learned. um, yeah. So I hope you're having a great week because this week is very special. It ties you into groups. So I hope you're like when the group are asked specific group are asking you to join them. I hope you take them up on it. You know, go to it. Go to the gathering. You might say, nah, I'm gonna stay at home and grill. No, join the group because trust and believe there's wealth and abundance with the group. Yeah, with the particularly a soul tribe. Some soul tribe you might find like they are dipping. Let them dip. Let them dip because that way that means that's a sign that you're attracting a new one is trying to come in, and so we want to welcome them in. Right. And then this does well. It's going to, I guess, quiet down a bit. Thursday. Well, because what happens is there's right now manifestation or like things coming into moving to fruition for tomorrow, and maybe Friday into the weekend, calm, and then things pick up again for the remainder days of October up to October 30th. So October 30th branches out into partnerships and things like that. So I'm monitoring those activities very closely because these are associated with projects that equal wealth or finances for people, at least people who I'm consulting with, which tends to go beyond the barrier of just simply because a person calls me. I believe that you know the veil is thin, and there's conversations even happening beyond just a phone call. So you may be experiencing some of this yourself. Strangely, I'm finding relationships are being set up that represent long term as well. So like that's more of the intimate sort. um, yeah, very fascinating. But it doesn't have to mean you found your number one. Like I have a person who lives a very healthy life, right? Very giving to lovers, so has more than one lovers, but is being fulfilled with like having these moments of fulfillment with said lovers. So it doesn't have to mean, oh gosh, but it's not. But it's definitely speaking to people who are soul, as you say, your soul connections as well. But what seems to be important, like again, see, there I go again talking about. So you talk about soul connections, and but what about like people finding or passing their interviews, getting a second interview. Yes, yes. This subject carries over into next week as well. So we're sending out that good energy that people get their callbacks because yes, November is a very interesting month. Um, it depends on who wants to hear this part. So I believe that November is going to be a romantic month. It's a month of activity with very special, specific individuals because it's also the month of partnerships. Kind of like coming to, okay, so this entire year has been about partnerships and such. So it's like this is arriving to the pinnacle come November. Okay. Also, as being established, relationship connections bleeding into 2026 because 2026, but I have the name now of 2026. It's reference. Okay, so this year's a year of partnerships and such. Next year's year of marriages. This year was hearing about people and planning out and mapping out getting married. Well, 2026 is a time where people or weddings are taking place. Very interesting year because also it's a year of abundance. And so you speak abundance, you naturally have to underline prosperity. So that will be something to look out for. I'm hoping that people will also arrive and get into that position and begin to pull in that good energy, the good energy of being prosperous, having those special connections with others, being able to get through these challenging times, opening up into this new area of life where they are experiencing being in the midst of abundance. Abundance is healthy, abundance is good. Abundance comes prosperity, and people will, bring into fruition these ongoing, actually, like how will the projects go? You this time you people will be supportive with these projects. People will be supportive. They'll support you. And they naturally want to because this is the soul group who have their own ideas of why they need to be successful in themselves. And you're part of their success. So you're on their journey. They are honoring your journey. And that's what we're focusing on this week and into the next. Yeah. So don't worry. Things are indeed will, as you say, fall into place, will fall into position. And of course, not everybody is experiencing the same things. And everything must play out with good reason, with best intentions. And that's absolutely true. So, yes, with these wonderful intentions for greater long-term sustainability to live actually in abundance, because abundance seems to be a word that is more perpetual to like prosperity. You can have bouts of prosperity, moments, but then you can have long-term prosperity, which leads you into the term abundance, being an abundant of prosperity, which, and of course, sometimes it takes for the ground to be tilled. It takes for the ground, for the soil to become enriched. So right now we're going through an enrichment moment that's going to yield greater fruits. So, in my opinion, there's not a real reason to go into, of course you're gonna, it's only natural, we're talking about finances, so if anyone is going to go into survival mode, so yes, you're going to enter survival mode. Enter into survival mode. That's good. Be in survival mode, and your will to live, your will to thrive. Absolutely. Especially when you are teaming up with other humans, or you're teaming up and you're going out there and you're resisting falling apart for humans who you you rely on for strength. You're calling on their strength. They're relying on you for protection. Talk about your family. So absolutely be in the mindset of those things. But I also want to say that the hope doesn't stop at the foot of the mountain. Yes, we're climbing into the mountain representing the new year. We're climbing into this new year, and in regard with regard in moving into this new time, that, and we're not falling apart, that we actually begin to climb. We see the action yielding the fruits that we've always had, meaning the fruits that seem stripped now, or has gone bare now. Those same fruits bloom again. Those same fruits bloom again. It's just a matter of, we're just answering the how. Like, the fruits will bloom again, but the question is, okay, will how will you continue to make it? How will you continue to thrive? You will continue, because those fruits are going to bloom again, just differently. That's the how differently than before. What they say. So you have to reinvent. It's like a reinventing, right? It's like when, okay, so one routine happened for a long time, and that was your standard program. Now new program happens, something else happens, something new. So you embrace. So now it's about accepting and embracing the new, as in, this routine was short term, and maybe it's a short term over a long period of time, but it wasn't something that was forever. It wasn't a forever um, setting, because you're looking for fulfillment. If you're looking for fulfillment, then that means You're in a place of short term. That means not the lasting arrangement. So now you're moving into the lasting arrangement, which can be a permanent fix for your new program, the new program that you're establishing for yourself. Like people will say, like what you need, but they don't have it in them, the ability or the patience to tell you how to fulfill. So you're discovering and analyzing how, with others, okay, will this new program be injected into your life. So into your life, you're bringing on something solid because you're capable. You have it in you. This is as much as you had it in you to sustain the older program. The older program is not an easy journey. Your old program, everybody just couldn't do your specific old program. The program that you were running for another person, that would be a very difficult program. And people probably ask you, you probably been asked, how do you do hold up like this? I wouldn't be able to sustain this. And you're saying, well, I make it work. The same as this new program, you're going to, but this time it's going to be absolutely abundance. That's the difference. Now you're going to enter your abundance and you're going to say, "Ah, I get it. I'm in my abundance and through my abundance, I can prevail. I prevail through within my abundance and I continue to grab hold of my new journey, my endeavors, and this is going to be how I continue to thrive, how I continue to live and protect and gather my energy, people who count on me and people who I am gaining strength from to do these things, these new to thrive and create not just bouts of prosperity, okay, over time until because it's short term. No, abundance, permanent prosperity, prosperity that is in the continuum naturally leads into the conversation about abundance. So we're becoming abundantly immersed in life. You're getting ready to experience abundance in this new journey. And that's why there's really not a need to lose sight of remember, do not lose sight of who you are. Do not lose sight of those who need you wholesome and need you in your mind to be free and in your ability to now take hold of the surety of abundance. You're ready to live life abundantly. We are ready. And this is how it's going to happen. So with that said, this is a short live because I'm just in the middle of a break. But you'll see me. I'll be back around.